My wife's ex showed up at our door, smirking. She still loves me, he said. And if she doesn't prove it, I'll ruin your lives. She looked at me, eyes full of fear. Days later, I found a hotel receipt with her name on it. That night, I slid it across the table and said, "Did you save our life or end our marriage?" Her hands shook as she realized what I knew. I never thought something like this would happen to me. I read stories like this all the time, guys finding out their wives are cheating, long-lost exes popping up like they own the place. But that was other people's mess. Other people's nightmares. Until it became mine. It started with a knock at the door. Late at night. Too late for visitors. We were just getting ready for bed when the sound echoed through the house. Sophie froze. I noticed because she never reacted like that. We live in Chicago, people come by unannounced all the time. She usually just grumbles about it, maybe tells me to ignore it. But this time, she went completely still. I pulled on a t-shirt and went to answer, already annoyed. I figured it was a neighbor, maybe someone looking for their lost dog or a drunk friend knocking on the wrong house. I opened the door. A man stood there. Tall. Lean. Smirking. "Hey, man," he said, like we were old friends. "I'm Aaron." I felt a jolt of recognition before he even said his name. Aaron. The ex. The one Sophie never wanted to talk about. I had only gotten bits and pieces from her over the years, enough to know he was bad news. The kind of guy who doesn't let go. The kind who makes you regret ever meeting him. And now he was at our door, looking at me like he was sizing me up. Behind me, I heard a sharp inhale. I turned. Sophie stood in the hallway, gripping the wall like she needed it to stay upright. Her face was pale. "Aaron," she whispered. He chuckled. "You still say my name the same way, sophomore." My stomach twisted. Something about the way he said it made my skin crawl. I stepped in front of her, blocking his view. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice tight. He leaned against the doorframe like he belonged there. "I came to see her. Needed to remind her of a few things." "You don't need to remind her of anything," I snapped. "She's my wife." His smirk widened. "Yeah?" He tilted his head, like he found that amusing. "Well, here's the thing, she still loves me." Silence. I felt Sophie tense behind me. Aaron stuffed his hands into his pockets, looking way too comfortable. "And if she doesn't prove it, I'll ruin your lives." My pulse pounded in my ears. What the hell does that mean? Aaron's eyes flicked toward Sophie. "You know what I have." She sucked in a sharp breath. And then, just like that, he walked away. I slammed the door shut, locking it. Twice. When I turned around, Sophie looked like she was about to collapse. "What the hell was that?" I demanded. She shook her head, eyes wide. I don't know." "Yes, you do," I said. "What does he have?" She didn't answer. For the next few days, Sophie was a wreck. She barely ate. She barely slept. She kept checking her phone, flinching every time it buzzed. I tried to talk to her, tried to get her to tell me what was going on. She wouldn't. Then, 4 nights later, I found the hotel receipt. It was buried under a stack of mail, like she had tried to hide it but didn't do a great job. Her name was on it. The date was from the night before. My hands went cold. When she got home, I was already sitting at the kitchen table, the receipt placed neatly in front of me. She walked in, saw it, and stopped dead in her tracks. I waited. "You want to explain this?" I asked, my voice steady. She licked her lips. Her hands trembled. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is." She swallowed hard. "Aaron, he has stuff. From when we were together. Bad stuff. He said if I didn't meet him, he'd send it to my job. To my family. To you." I stared at her. "And?" I pressed. Her throat bobbed. She looked like she was about to cry. "I went to make sure he deleted it." "Did he?" Silence. "Sophie," I said, my voice dangerously calm. She dropped into the chair across from me. "I don't know." My stomach twisted. "So what happened? What did you have to do to make sure?" She shook her head violently. "I didn't, I couldn't," her voice broke. "I was going to leave. I swear. But he grabbed me. He wouldn't let me go. I clenched my jaw. So what happened? She inhaled shakily. I waited until he fell asleep. And I ran. I stared at her, my mind racing. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to. But that hotel receipt sat between us, a silent accusation. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. So I just sat there, staring at my wife, wondering if I still knew the person sitting in front of me. It's been days since that conversation. Sophie hasn't left the house. She jumps every time her phone buzzes. She barely speaks. I don't know what the truth is. I don't know if I want to know. But I do know one thing. Guys like Aaron? They don't just go away. That night, I barely slept. Sophie was in bed, curled up on her side, facing away from me. Her breathing was uneven, like she was awake but pretending not to be. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, the hotel receipt still burned into my mind. If she was telling the truth, if Aaron had forced her into that room, if she had really run, why wouldn't she have told me from the start? Why did I have to find the damn receipt before she admitted anything? And the worst part? I wasn't sure if I wanted her to be lying. Because if she was lying, it meant she cheated. But if she was telling the truth, it meant she had been trapped in a hotel room with a man who had power over her. And I had done nothing. Around 3 a.m., I gave up trying to sleep and went to the kitchen. I stood there in the dark, gripping the counter, my mind racing. I wanted answers. Real ones. I wanted to know if she was keeping something from me. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I took her phone. It was right there on the counter. No passcode. She had nothing to hide. Or maybe she just never thought I'd look. I opened her messages. Nothing from Aaron. No calls. No texts. No missed messages. But then I checked her deleted folder. And that's when I found them. A whole string of messages. Aaron, meet me. You know what I have. Aaron, you think I won't do it? Aaron, time's up. Tonight. Hotel. Aaron, if you don't show, he'll see everything. The last message was sent at 7:49 p.m. the night she checked in. There was no response from her. But then there was one more message, sent at 3:17 a.m. Aaron, you should have stayed longer. I gripped the phone so hard my knuckles turned white. She had run. But what the hell had happened before she did? I heard movement behind me. Slowly, I turned. Sophie was standing at the edge of the kitchen, watching me. Her eyes flicked to her phone in my hands. I expected her to be angry. Maybe demand to know why I was going through her messages. But she didn't say a word. She just wrapped her arms around herself and whispered, I didn't sleep with him. I didn't answer. I was going to find him. I didn't tell Sophie. I knew she'd try to stop me, and honestly, I didn't trust her to give me the full truth. Instead, I started with the hotel. The address was on the receipt. It wasn't far, just a few miles from our house. Some crappy little place that charged by the hour. That fact alone made me feel sick. I drove there, gripping the wheel so tightly my fingers ached. When I walked into the lobby, the guy at the front desk barely looked up from his phone. Need a room? He asked, bored. No, I said, keeping my voice steady. I need information. That got his attention. I pulled out my wallet and slid a 50 across the counter. 2 nights ago, I said. Room 214. Woman checked in. Someone else was with her. What do you remember? He hesitated. Then, with a glance toward the security camera in the corner, he slipped the bill into his pocket. 214, he repeated. Yeah, I remember. She came in alone. Kinda nervous looking. Checked in, went straight upstairs. Alone? I repeated. She didn't meet anyone here. He scratched his jaw. Not that I saw. But about an hour later, some guy came in asking for the room number. Didn't check in, just walked past me like he owned the place. My stomach twisted. Did they leave together? I asked. The guy frowned. Don't think so. I remember her leaving in a hurry. Looked kinda scared. Didn't even stop at the desk. Just ran out. I took a deep breath. And him? He shrugged. Didn't see him leave. Could have stayed all night for all I know. I nodded slowly, my mind racing. Then, just as I turned to go, the guy said, "Oh, wait." I turned back. "He left something," he said. "Like, a jacket or something. The cleaning lady found it the next morning." I frowned. "What kind of jacket?" He disappeared behind the desk and came back with a worn-out denim jacket. I hesitated, then reached into the pocket. There was something inside. A folded piece of paper. I pulled it out and unfolded it, my pulse pounding. It was a printed photo. Of our house. I don't remember driving home. I barely remember anything until I was standing in our kitchen again, staring at Sophie, my heart hammering in my chest. "Tell me everything," I demanded. She swallowed hard. "I already did," I cut her off. "No more half-truths. No more, I don't knows. He had a photo of our house, Sophie. He's been watching us. And I'm done playing games." She paled. Then, slowly, she sank into a chair, pressing a hand to her mouth. "I think," her voice shook. "I think he's been in the house." A chill ran down my spine. "What the hell are you talking about?" She squeezed her eyes shut. "Last week. I thought I heard something. When you were at work. Like someone moving around upstairs. I went to check, but nothing was there. I felt sick." "You didn't tell me," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. She shook her head. Of course she hadn't. Because she had been hiding things from the start. And now, I had no idea just how deep this went that I stood there, gripping the photo so tightly it crumpled in my fist. The realization settled in my chest like a weight, pressing down hard. Aaron had been in our house. Not just outside. Inside. I turned and stormed toward the front door, locking it. Then I checked the back. Locked. Windows? Locked. But that didn't mean he hadn't already been here. I looked at Sophie. She was shaking, staring at the floor like she was about to break apart. "You should have told me," I said, my voice tight. "I didn't want to make it real," she whispered. "Well, it's real now." I pulled out my phone, scrolling through the security app. We had cameras. We had them. But the footage from the past 2 weeks? Gone. "Did you delete the footage?" I demanded. She looked up, confused. "What?" "No." I turned the screen toward her. "Then explain this." Her lips parted. Then she shook her head. I don't know." And then, like a punch to the gut, something else hit me. Who had access to our cameras? Me. Sophie. Anne. My blood ran cold. Aaron. He had been in our house. And he had access to everything. I tore the house apart. Drawers. Closets. Behind furniture. I wasn't even sure what I was looking for. A note? A hidden camera? Some kind of sick message from him? Sophie just stood there, watching me in silence. Then I found it. A small USB drive. Tucked behind the router, almost invisible. I stared at it. My hands shook as I grabbed it and plugged it into my laptop. One single file. A video. I clicked play. At first, it was dark. The screen shook slightly, like someone adjusting the camera. Then it focused. Our bedroom. The bed. The sheets. Sophie. Sleeping. The timestamp? 4 nights ago. A shudder ran down my spine. Then, movement. A figure. Just outside the frame. Moving closer. My breathing turned shallow as I watched. Aaron stepped into view. He was standing at the edge of our bed. Watching her. Watching my wife sleep. The video cut off. I slammed the laptop shut so hard the screen almost cracked. My pulse was a roar in my ears. Sophie was staring at me, wide-eyed. "What?" she whispered. I couldn't speak. I just turned the laptop toward her and hit play. Her hands flew to her mouth. A strangled sound escaped her throat. She started shaking so hard I thought she might collapse. "He was here," she choked out. I ran a hand through my hair, my mind racing. "No more waiting. We're calling the cops." She nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. The police arrived within 20 minutes. I expected them to treat it like some routine call, take a statement, make a report, promise to look into it, and never follow up. But the second they saw the video, everything changed. One officer muttered, "Jesus Christ." Another called for backup. They asked if anything had been stolen. Nothing was missing. Then the real kicker, they found no signs of forced entry. "Are you sure you locked all the doors?" the officer asked. "Yes," I said immediately. "Every night." Sophie nodded, still visibly shaken. The officer sighed. "Then he has a key." "A key?" My blood turned to ice. I turned to Sophie. Did he ever have a key when you were together?" She shook her head. "No. Never." I looked at the officer. "Could he have made one? Like, copied it somehow?" "Not without access," he said. "Unless he stole one." I felt a chill go through me. I thought back to the past few months. The misplaced keys. The times I swore I had left them on the counter, only to find them in my jacket. The lock that felt different when I turned it, just slightly off. Had he taken my keys? Made a copy? The officer studied me. "You should change all your locks. Tonight." We changed them immediately. New locks. New cameras. A whole new security system. For the first time in days, I felt a little bit of control again. But that feeling didn't last long. Because the next morning, I woke up to a single text. "Unknown number, you think that stops me?" And then, a second later, a photo. Of our bedroom window. Taken from the outside. At night. I shot out of bed, yanking open the blinds. Nothing. No one. But the message was clear. Aaron wasn't done. And neither was I. The second I saw that message, my blood went cold. Aaron was still watching us. I stormed out of the bedroom, grabbing my keys and heading straight for the front door. "Where are you going?" Sophie called after me, her voice panicked. "To end this." She ran up, grabbing my arm. "No, please, don't go looking for him. That's what he wants." I turned on her, shaking her off. "What do you expect me to do, Sophie? Just sit here and wait for him to break in again?" Tears welled in her eyes. "We should call the police." "And tell them what?" I snapped. "He sent a text. The cops already know he's dangerous, and they haven't done anything. He's still out there." She flinched. "I know," she whispered. I exhaled hard, trying to calm the rage burning inside me. "If you know, then stop trying to stop me. Just tell me where to find him." She hesitated. And that hesitation? It said everything. "You already know where he is," I said slowly, realization sinking in. "Don't you?" She didn't answer. My chest tightened. "Sophie." She still wouldn't meet my eyes. Then, almost too quietly to hear, she whispered, "He's at the Sheraton." I took a step back. "How the hell do you know that?" She finally looked at me, her face filled with something I couldn't read. "Because he texted me too." I drove straight to the hotel. It felt like my heart was pounding in my throat the entire ride. My hands were gripping the wheel so tight my knuckles were white. I wasn't thinking straight. I just knew I had to do something. When I pulled into the parking lot, I didn't even hesitate, I went straight to the front desk. "Aaron Finch," I said. "What room is he in?" The guy at the desk barely looked up. "We can't give out guest information." I slammed a $100 bill onto the counter. "I'm not asking for his credit card number. Just tell me if he's here." The guy hesitated. Then his eyes flicked to the screen. "Room 407, he muttered. I turned and took the stairs 2 at a time. I didn't have a plan. I just knew I needed to face him. By the time I got to his door, my pulse was a roar in my ears. I knocked once. No answer. I knocked again, harder. Then I heard movement. The door opened, just a crack. And there he was. Aaron. Smirking. "Well," he said. "Look who finally decided to show up." I didn't think. I shoved the door open hard, knocking him backward. He stumbled, catching himself on the dresser. "Jesus," he muttered. "Angry much?" I slammed the door behind me. "I don't know what your endgame is, but it stops now." Aaron rolled his eyes, adjusting his jacket. "Relax. We're just having a little fun." "You call this fun?" I snapped. "Breaking into our house? Stalking us?" He grinned. I haven't done anything illegal. Just checking in on an old friend. I clenched my fists. If you ever come near her again, I swear. Swear what? Aaron cut me off. That you'll beat me up? Kill me? You think you're the one in control here? I took a step forward, rage burning through me. You're just a sad little freak who can't move on. Aaron's smirk vanished. His jaw tightened. I hit a nerve. Then, just when I thought I had the upper hand, he pulled out his phone. Funny thing, he said. Sophie and I? We've been talking a lot more than she told you. He tapped the screen and turned it toward me. Text messages. Pages of them. All from her. Sophie, I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Sophie, I shouldn't have come that night. But I was scared. Sophie. You promised you wouldn't tell him. My breath caught. I ripped the phone from his hand, scrolling. Sophie, I think about us sometimes. I don't want to, but I do. My stomach twisted. No, I muttered. This isn't real. Aaron laughed. I told you, man. She still loves me. I couldn't breathe. Because for the first time, I wasn't sure if he was lying. I drove home in a daze. I felt nothing. Or maybe I felt too much, and my brain just shut down. When I got inside, Sophie was sitting on the couch, her hands clasped together. She shot up when she saw me. Did you find him? What happened? I just pulled out my phone. Opened the screenshots I had taken. And slid it across the table. Her hands shook as she picked it up. Her face drained of color. She choked out. Did you save our life? I said quietly. Or did you end our marriage? Her whole body trembled. I didn't mean. I sat down across from her, my voice calm. Too calm. Did you sleep with him? She shook her head violently. No. I swear to you. I swear. But you thought about it, I said. You think about him. She covered her face with her hands, sobbing. I was scared, she whispered. I didn't know what to do. I nodded slowly. Then I got up. Where are you going? She asked through her tears. I grabbed my jacket. I don't know. But not here. She ran up and grabbed my arm. Please, don't leave. Please, I love you. I love you. I pulled away. If that were true, you wouldn't have needed to say it to him, too. Her breath hitched. And then I walked out. That was 3 days ago. I haven't answered her calls. Haven't gone home. She texts me constantly, begging me to come back. Saying she didn't mean it. Saying she was just scared. I don't know what to believe anymore. The worst part? Aaron won. He got exactly what he wanted. I lost my wife. I lost everything. And I don't even know if I want it back.